Hey you guys! So today I have a really fun little tutorial for you. I'm going to show you how to paint these beautiful Echinacea flowers, or coneflowers as you might know them. Now I know it looks like I've used watercolour to paint these flowers, but I'm actually using gouache. Gouache is also a water-based paint, so it's similar to watercolours, but it's much more opaque, which does make it a little more forgiving when you're just learning how to paint. If you're not quite sure what gouache is or how to use it and you're a little bit curious, then make sure you go and enroll in my free course, Get Started with Gouache. I'll leave the link below this video. One of the things that I really love about gouache is that you can leave it dry on your palette and then come back to it later, and a quick spray of water will actually reactivate the paint and bring it all back to life. So this is really handy if you're like me and you're in the habit of leaving paint on your palette. So I have these cute little porcelain nesting palettes which I've been using a lot lately. They don't take up a huge space on my desk and I can keep the colours as separate as I like, which means they last a little bit longer than the usual flat palette I use, where you can see here that colours tend to run together more and I have to clean it up more regularly. So I haven't cleaned these little porcelain palettes for months. I've reactivated the gouache on them so many times and it's getting to the point where the gouache is getting quite thin and it's now a lot like painting with watercolours. So I thought I'd show you how you can use gouache when it's been left to dry on your palette, when it's quite a thin, watery consistency. Of course, you can use fresh gouache from the tube to paint these flowers. You'll just want to add quite a bit of water to make the paint a similar consistency to watercolour paint. You can also use watercolours for this tutorial if you like. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is take this dry brown paint and spray it with my spray bottle. I'm not adding too much water, just a light spray will work if your paint has been dry for a while. Then I'm going to start mixing in the water with my brush to reactivate the paint. Now something to note here is that gouache can be a little hard on paintbrushes, so you might want to use an older paintbrush for this scrubbing back and forth motion so that you can make sure you keep the tip of your nice paintbrushes tidy. I'm going to start painting with at the centre, at the cone part of the flower. So I'm going to go in with a nice watery kind of darker brown paint and put down the base of the cone shape. Then I'm just going to pick up a little lighter coloured paint, maybe a little bit of orange, and complete the cone shape. Now you can make the cone shape of this flower as pointed as you like, it's up to you. So while this brown paint is still nice and wet, I'm going to pick up some pink paint for the petals. It can be a little bit of a thicker consistency if you like, so that the petals end up a little more opaque. And I'm just going to go in here and touch the very edge of the cone that I painted with the tip of my brush so the colour starts to bleed into the petal. So you can see how I'm just pulling away from the cone and creating a nice petal shape with my brush. You can see how there's all kinds of magic happening as the brown paint bleeds a little into the pink paint. I really love the effect you can get with watery gouache. So now that my petals are a little drier, I'm going to go in and paint a stem. If you don't want the pink from the petals to bleed into the stem, you just need to make sure that the pink is completely dry. Now I'm just going to add some leaves. Now we're not going for realism or perfection here, it's just about capturing the freshness and the aliveness of the leaves, so quick watery brush strokes are perfect. And you might even want to drop in a little bit of a darker colour just to create some depth or interest. When the paint's dry, you can go in and put in as much detail as you like, so you might want to add some veins to the leaves or maybe to the flower petals. You can go in and create some buds, or you can put some dots on the cones. It's really up to you how much detail you like to paint with. So there are my completed Echinacea flowers. I'd love to know how you guys went with this, so let me know in the comments below. And remember, if you're new to gouache, make sure you enroll in my free course. I'll leave the link below this video.